Hello, and welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, where everything's made up and the points don't matter. I'm just kidding. We don't have points. We have cats. And they love me too much. How are you doing, Polly?
You know.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
That's good, that's good. That's always good news. We want our co-host alive. Dead co-hosts are no fun. Unless, of course, you're, like, a hollowed-out skeleton or whatever. And then I can, like, I don't know, puppet you. Like a cadaver skeleton. What are they called? Like, just skeletons? Scientific skeletons? Is there a specific name? Do you know? This is borderline creepy. And we're only 5 seconds in.
Got me.
Neither of us are actual scientists. By, like, the layman's definition of scientists, where you have, like, a test tube and a scale of some sort and chemicals abound. Anyway. So, yeah. Happy Monday, everybody. I know this isn't technically Cocktail Hour night, but this is a makeup for such an atrocious I'm having a struggle. Atrocious. Thank you, dear. Atrocious show from last night, which had all of the technical difficulties, like all of them, every last one of them. We had audio issues, we had camera issues, we had the fact that Weebo doesn't know how to freaking turn off and on the OBS again in a productive manner. So, yeah. I have switched cameras, so we are using the Logitech that y'all grew up with from the original Weebo Jones videos. The HD 1080p, no longer in 4K, and it also doesn't have the warm effect, so you're getting, like, naked Weebo face. I mean, you usually do, but what I mean is it's not been adjusted to be warmer like I like. So, anyway. How are your audio issues, Polly? Are they doing better?
I don't know. How are my audio issues?
I think good. We'll find out as we continue on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking we could just do like a short 1 hour to make up for the lack of show from yesterday. So that brings us to maybe like an average of an hour and 30 minutes of actual show time combined. Hopefully.
Sure.
That way you get to enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I get to enjoy the rest of my Monday, and probably go to bed early.
Is that your plan?
Yes, but very rarely does everything go the way that I want it to, as I've come to find out in my adult life. Yeah. I thought that was just a product of being a powerless child, but no, it turns out that the older that you get, the less control of things you have. And I'm very slowly coming to terms with that. Thoughts, Polly?
Do
I have dreadful existentialism to look forward to as I get older?
Are you worried about your existence?
Not particularly, but, you know.
No?
There's time.
No, then I would say not.
Okay. So if you're already worried about your existence, it'll only be more prevalent as you grow older? Is that safe to
I can
assume?
imagine someone suddenly becoming worried about their existence as they get older. I mean, closer to death's door and whatnot.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I could see that. Especially, like, if you also have to come to terms with the decaying of your body while you're still, like, alive in real time, that definitely has gotta suck. Wow, this turned into a really morbid stream really quickly.
Yeah, what's your problem?
I have no idea. I have one. I know I do, but I couldn't diagnose it for you. You know, what with the, you're not supposed to diagnose your own problems on the internet conversation. I mean, I could, but I'd probably come away with it, like, with, I don't know, prostate cancer and terminal lung tumors of some degree, but I'm not an expert. Or maybe I'll have COVID. I don't know. We'll see. There's time. Did you know I'm actually due for my my booster?
You haven't gotten the first one yet?
No, I haven't. I'm a little behind. Because I only
Terrible.
got mine back in November. And I only just got the text message to say that I or a loved one that I am in charge of caring for are due for your booster, your vaccine booster. So I'm like, I haven't heard anything from work about this right now. No one's like approached me and told me, Weebo, you gotta get the jab again, or else you're fired. So I'm just kind of like waiting until someone does tell me to do that. In which case, then I will have no choice but to do it. But right now, I'm just coasting and I'm doing fine. Like, it's mid-plague season and I am not bad. Knock on wood.
It's plague season?
Well, yeah. It's like this middle of spring. That's like the middle prime plague season. It would be... Okay, so when I was in college, we called it the plague. But it was basically any time the student body came back from break, they would bring all their diseases and communicable illnesses back with them. And it would infect the whole population the very first week back, or the second week even, it would sometimes carry into, of school. Everyone would get sick. And it would be just a hodgepodge of sniffling, coughing, sneezing, temperature, fevers, all of the things. And then it would go away, no one would get sick. And then we go away for break again, and we come back, and everyone would be sick again. So, it's plague season in the sense of, like, spring break just happened, so everyone's supposed to be getting sick, but it doesn't happen because I'm not around a bunch of snotty-nosed young adults anymore. Which I guess is a good thing. Right?
I don't know. Or is being around a bunch of burned out, soulless, office bound automatons better for you?
I guess, because if they catch the sniffles, they might keel over, apparently. Or so I've been told. Because, well, if it's a particular sniffle, then it's, like, deadly for them, I guess. But, I don't know. They don't go on vacations because they're office drones. And I am an office drone. We don't go on vacations anymore at, like, a set time. It's just kind of all sporadic. So, someone could come back with the sniffles. But given the COVID climate, right, they're supposed to call in sick and or work from home if they do and test for COVID. At least that's been the protocol thus far. Like my boss, she's missed, I can't even tell you. Oh shit. I heard that. My boss has missed, I don't know how many days, but she's got kids, right? So she misses days so she can stay home with her kids because her kids have to stay home if they even have, like, a sneeze. Just one. So she has to stay home, but if she stays home...
Because that's what she wants, or that's what the school requires?
That's what the school requires. And then, I guess when we were, like, on super lockdown and everyone was super paranoid about everything, if you had anyone in your household infected, or potentially infected, they had to, your entire house had to quarantine in the household for, like, 2 days until you got your test results back, and then if it was positive, you'd have to quarantine for the full 2 weeks, and then it was 10 days, etc., etc. So it's been nutty. It's been interesting. People are... The reaction... It got to the point where if I sneezed in the office, I was afraid that I'd get sent home from work. Just like one single sneeze. I was terrified. And I'm like, but it's... My nose tickled. And that was it. Before I go on, Lion Patriot, thank you for the $5. Polly, what's your problem? Weebo, well, you see, it all started with my conception. Oh, okay, I see. Polly says, what's your problem? Weebo says, well, you see, it all started with my conception. You don't even know the half of it, kid. Actually,
Yeah,
no.
I don't know. I posted a picture on fucking on Twitter,
Oh.
and I typed words to the effect of, "Yeah, I'm really feeling this. This picture speaks to me," something to that effect. Um, it was an image that I found, and I thought I could do a lot with this, so I imported it into Photoshop. I already told the story on AAA like an hour and a half ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
This picture, right?
I could noir this picture up and did in Photoshop because I don't know, I had nothing else going on, and so well, there's a bunch of other things I could have done, but didn't feel like doing them. I felt like I was watching videos and I needed something to occupy myself with, so I was fucking around with that picture in Photoshop for like a good couple of hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I was done, I posted it, and not like look at my work. I don't know. Go through my fucking Twitter. There's like random contextless shit all over the fucking place.
Right.
You know. And I get all these responses that are and DMs from people too, like a lot of DMs saying, "Are you okay, man? Are you doing all right?" Some people just like responded with "oof."
Yeah.
One person asked me if I needed a hug, who turned out to be like a really hot nurse, so like that was okay.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
Polly, do you need a hug?
from the hot nurse, sure, yeah,
All right.
fuck
See, the best medicine, right?
yeah. I mean, come on, is that even a question?
So you made the liquor stand out color wise compared to the rest of everything. That's what you did in Photoshop, right? Or was there more?
Oh, there's a lot more.
Ah.
You want to see the original?
Yes, I do.
Uh,
Love a good poly edit. All right, let's see.
Fuck. Hold on.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the transition period wherein technical difficulties are likely to abound, so please have your patience.
So have your patience.
Have your patience at the ready. But it does look cool. I like the clear glass with the amber liquid right in front in the is the foreground with the background all blurry. Like that's pretty cool.
Is this it?
It's pretty cool.
No, that's not it. What the hell? This is the problem with having 10 browsers open. It's like, which one did I use to find that picture? You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
history, manage history, yesterday.
Do.
No. Well, it wouldn't have been yesterday. It would have been today because it was past midnight now, so it's not that browser. Okay, it had to be Firefox. So where the fuck is it? Fuck's going on here?
I'm so sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
prepare
I
for
mean,
takeoff.
let's talk about other things while I'm doing this. I mean, there's no reason that we need to sit here in silence while I'm.
Well, no, I love the narration going on of you searching with me having absolutely no clue as to what it is that's going on behind the scenes. I'm just like,
It was Nurse Kalesi who asked me if I needed a hug, and like, oh yeah.
absolutely, I do need a hug. A big one, please.
Anyway.
Full arms.
Yeah, I will stop short of being a pervert about it.
I won't. That's the beauty of being a girl. You can be slightly pervy, and no one cares. They find it slightly endearing. But also, I guess that's kind of like a negative if you think about it, but not too much. Right.
Yeah, it's just a girl privilege thing. I understand.
Oh, I enjoy my girl privileges vigorously.
Oh, I am more than well aware that you do.
Yep. And my boy privileges. And I had Chick-fil-A, ladies and gentlemen. I had Chick-fil-A. And I don't care what this says about me or my morals. Oh my god! You know what I just noticed?
We're all gonna die.
What?
They poked in all of the button thingies.
So you don't know what you have?
That's a death sentence.
No, I know exactly what I have, but how dare they? Don't they know that that's my job as the customer? It is my job to poke the button thingies. All of them. But they poked all of my buttons. I know this sounds like an overreaction, and it is. But it's a genuine overreaction. Because how the fuck dare? Alright.
Alright, there it is.
And let me switch
That's the original.
to Discord capture. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, you really brought out the picture. Sorry. The color of the liquid. Actually,
Yeah,
I think you adjusted it. You made it less brown, more
it's
red.
it's not 6:9 ratio, so I had to do a little adjustification there.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how close his elbow is to the edge of the photograph, which you can
Mm-hmm.
see in my version. Goes a lot further.
Oh.
So I cut his hand out of the background and
Mm-hmm.
left it sharp, and then put a Gaussian blur on the background. Desaturated the entire picture, put a warming filter on it. I mean, you can see all the layers that make it up, and the various exposure filters for it.
Nice.
The like, yeah, that's the liquor. The liquor itself is also cut out, and then it has has its hue turned more red, and then its saturation turned up, so it really stands out. But there was no redness to the top of it, and I thought that there should be. So, and then I added a little bit of a shadow because I thought that it looked fake, like it had just been dropped in. So I
Yeah.
used a little bit of a gradient to the bottom, and then of course removed all of the unsightly hair from his knuckles because this fucking gorilla man. The idea
What's
is
wrong
like I
with
thought,
having
well,
hair on your knuckles, Polly?
well like if you zoom in, this guy's got some hairy motherfucking knuckles, and like the idea is like, oh well, this is me, right? You know, like that's what I'm thinking. And it's like, so if you'll notice, like all the hair on his knuckles are gone, and plus he has some really bright lights on him. You
Uh-huh.
can tell because like his fingertips just blown out white, so much so you can see the reflection of his arm off the table. He's got probably a slight amount of gel in his hair, and you can see all the hot
Yeah.
highlights coming off. So he must have white hot lights on him. So I toned down all of the highlights so it's not as blown out as it was before,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course put a gradient around the outside. That's the gradient dropped, and then gradient in, so it draws your eyes to the center of the picture, and there you go.
I like it.
I call it Tuesday.
But it's Monday, Polly.
I know, but the day I figured Tuesday because it's just like, any given day of the week is
Right.
the notion.
Cool. So wait, where did you pull the picture from? Like, stock images to me are always super interesting because there's got to be like some sort of story behind why that picture was taken. Um,
Sure.
for example, are you familiar with? Oh gosh, I don't know what it's called meme wise, but it's the jealous girlfriend gif or picture stock image thing.
I pulled it originally from, like, there's the picture of where I got it from online, right? And I found that going through Tin Eye
Yeah.
to find where and it is like a Getty Images or a Shutterstock image. But I got it from here when I was looking at Nick Palazzo's Galveston novel. I'm trying to find the audiobook version of it, and sometimes people place the full audiobook up online. I wasn't able to find it through perfectly legitimate sources. And there is an audiobook of this book, and so I have a copy of it, like an EPUB version of it that I'm going to read, but I kind of want the audiobook more because I have a lot of nonfiction reading to do for research shit, so I don't really have time to read a novel right now. But I
feel
would
that.
love to listen to it whilst driving and whatnot. And Nick Palazzo is a fucking genius, so I'm really looking forward to reading this novel.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for you.
And so this person who put this up, and this is just their review of it, decided to grab this Shutterstock image. And I think that whatever the fuck is going on here is part of the watermark or whatever.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And I mean, this image itself just grabbed me because Nick Palazzo's the writer and creator and showrunner of True Detective, which is, the greatest neo-noir in the last 25 years. And so,
Wait, is that his last name? Palazzo?
Mm-hmm.
Then why is it Nick Pizzolatto?
Whatever. I've just heard him say his name, and then he did Palazzo.
Oh,
Is the
okay.
way he says it.
I feel that.
I don't know. It's like, why we say pizza, but there ain't no T in that word. I don't know.
That's fair. No, my real last name, as easy as it apparently looks to pronounce, gets fucked up all the time. Sorry. So you were saying about the book.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs a blurry 38 by his elbow, right? No, it just that image does seem to work for what I've read about the novel Galveston. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it in a big way because I
Nice.
am True Detective season 2. Huge fan.
Now, how many seasons are there for True Detective?
3.
3. And the third one is the one that you shouldn't watch? Or are they all
Um,
worth a watch? I think I remember you saying something about the third
no,
one.
you can watch all 3 of them. I just happen to think number 2 is the best of them, and
Oh.
the entire internet disagrees with me.
Okay.
Well, I know it just seems that way, if you know what I mean. They are. Um, it's just one of those things where you end up liking something that everyone else like. Everyone thinks season 1 is that's it. That's the greatest thing fucking ever. Oh my god, I loved it so much. Matthew McConaughey and
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson were so fucking great. Blah blah blah. And it's an anthology series. Season 1, 2, and 3 have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
They're completely different sets of characters. The only thing that's the same is that it's about detectives investigating a murder. And what happens is there's an inciting incident, a murder in the first episode, and peeling back layers of the story of the onion, as it were. Like it just gets deeper and deeper and weirder and weirder. And it's very noir. There's no heroes. The characters are extremely flawed. Lot of grit. And his dialogue is top notch. Except for when Matthew McConaughey's talking in the first season, it's like, oh god, I've never wanted to punch a character so much. But that tells you it's good writing because, you know,
If you emote, or no, if you can elicit a reaction from the audience that is like a genuine one, then yeah, you've done your due diligence as a writer, as an
yeah,
actor, even in performing the character.
yeah. And considering how far off Matthew McConaughey is in real life from his character Rust in True Detective, like they polar opposites of each other. It's like I would love to see somebody ask Matthew McConaughey, so how much of you is there in Rust? And it's like, none. Like it's just they're not the same kind of guy at all, like even remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Rust is they think of him as like the ultimate black pilled guy, where there are people like that in the world, that are so black pilled. It's like, why do you come outside? How do you have a job? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Because you see such
Yeah.
such little of a point in anything.
Yeah.
You got,
I know people like that.
yeah, but yet they get up every morning and go about their day. But
Right.
they're more than willing to tell you about how pointless everything is. Like he refers to himself repeatedly as a meatbag, having the accidental evolutionary curse of being able to know that we die, and as we ponder the universe and make up things to make ourselves feel better, blah 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 blah. Like just like, oh, shut up.
Wow.
Like it's imagine the worst emo kid that you can imagine with a boundless articulation of Nick Palazzo's writing skill. And it just, whew,
I'd hate to be that person's mom.
yeah.
Because, like, as the mom, you want your child to be happy and not the most depresso black-pilled person on the face of this planet. Because, like, why else would you go through all the effort of creating a child if all they're gonna do is mope? And mope.
Mope.
And
Well,
mope.
what's interesting was like what I know, I happen to know that people liked about season 1 because they talk about it a lot, is the Southern Gothic aspect. Nick Palazzo himself is from Louisiana, and the look of it is very cinematic. All 3 seasons, his notion of it was like each season is 8 episodes, right? And it's like, I want to do an 8-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do 8-hour neo-noir movies because you can never really like get deep into backgrounds and character arcs and so on and so forth in a 2-hour film because you're limited, and you can't ask somebody to sit there and watch an 8-hour movie the way that HBO does short season stuff now. Now there's the possibility of doing this. So he presented this script and said, here, I want to do this thing, after he had written a number of successful novels, and they were like, sure. And it ended up being a big hit. And so, yeah, very Southern Gothic. They are not in, they're not on, Bourbon Street, New Orleans. This is the country, Hicktown. You know what I mean? And so it's got that vibe, that feel to it. And it's a murder with occult overtones. And I think that people dig that in the way that they dug Seven or Kiss the Girls or whatever other movie you can think of that's along those lines. A killing that seems to have a psychotic or occult overtones associated with it.
Oh yeah, everyone
Yeah.
loves a good cult movie.
You know what I mean? And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
is that actually what's going on? Well, the story goes on and on and on, and the layers go deeper and deeper and deeper. No spoilers in case anyone hasn't seen it. Season 2, on the other hand, is city noir. It's not. It happens in Los Angeles, or excuse me, California, but not the California of like beaches and Hollywood and glamour and whatnot. Industrial California.
Yeah.
The grime, all of the industrial manufacturing fabrication areas, the train yards, and it's a city manager is murdered, and it's what brings 3 detectives: one a California highway patrolman, one a burnout corrupt cop from the city of Vinci, and it was the city manager of Vinci that was murdered, and then the third one is the county sheriff, played by what's her name? Antigone Bezarides.
That's
Nick Palazzo
a
has
hell of
just
a name.
I know. He adores the most bizarre names. Like Antigone Bezarides. It's like, gee, could
Antigone?
Bezarides.
Well, no, but like the name Antigone, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, it actually has meaning behind it. Antigone.
Oh yeah, Antigone's from Greek
Antigone is
mythology.
yes. Okay, Sophocles' play Antigone. Antigone is daughter of Oedipus, and either his mother Jocasta or Eurygena. Okay, no, I remember Antigone. Yeah, she's really depressed. She laments the death of her brothers.
It's not accidental that her father is like this super hippie type
Ow!
who
Ow!
lived in a hippie commune in like the 70s
Yeah.
and still does to the day, where she is like this hardcore ultra independent woman who cannot allow anybody or any man in her life. But the burnout detective, played by Ray Velcoro, Detective Ray Velcoro, played by the guy who was in Phone Booth. He played Bullseye in Daredevil. He played
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't. Yeah.
I forgot his name. He was the guy in Phone Booth who was in the Phone Booth. Anyway, he
I know
does a
who you're talking
fantastic.
about, though.
Yeah, the Irishman. He does a fantastic job of playing like the burnout detective. He's just he's done too much for too long. He does every drug. I love when the doctor says to him after he's getting checked out. The doctor says, Detective Okoro, it is possible to live with some bad habits, but do you have to have them all?
Do you have to have them all?
Yeah. And and then the third, Woodrow, detective, and he's the California Highway Patrol motorcycle cop, is a former military contractor who got involved in some really ugly shit. It's a Blackwater analogy that civilian deaths are insinuated, ordered to do it, et cetera, right? He ends up likes being a California Highway Patrol police officer because he's off on his own, on his lonesome. He's gay, but in the closet, and denies it. Ray Valcoro is a burnout detective who's done too many drugs and seen too much and is burned out and is divorced and is trying to have a relationship with his stepson that he isn't necessarily sure is his because his wife was raped.
Wait, his stepson that he isn't sure is
Excuse me.
his
son, and his wife is remarried. But he's not, sorry, I didn't mean stepson. Just his son,
Okay.
who they make a fat redheaded kid just to really pound the point home.
And it
like
may or
redhead.
may not be.
And it may be the rapist's child, not his child. But
Why does it have to be a fat redheaded child?
well, like like a redheaded stepchild. You never heard that phrase before?
No,
No. Okay, that's.
I have not.
It's like the kid that's gonna get mistreated, like that obviously isn't his because like it looks the kid looks nothing like his mother or his father,
Right.
so maybe looks like his actual father,
The extraneous
rapist.
third party that is
Yeah.
off screen.
Yeah.
Not
And
you.
and then the woman who will not allow anything in her life because she was molested as a child because her father dropped acid and went on like a 3-day bender in the woods. And while he was gone and left her alone, a child molester grabbed her and took her into a van for 3 days. So she's got major fucking issues.
Wow.
And there, and then there's Vince Vaughn plays a mobster who was probably the most impressive character to me since because I thought of Vince Vaughn as a shitty romantic comedy actor. And to play like a deadly serious role as he does Frank Simeon, who is the guy who corrupted Ray Velcoro as a young cop. And they've been friends ever since, business partners really. It's so anyway, I'm watching a review of it and what people didn't like about it, it's such a downer. And it's like, it's True Detective. Like season
Isn't
1
that
was a
the point?
massive downer. You just like the scenery, and you don't like the scenery of season 2. I watched Brad Jones, the cinema snob, review season 2, and he goes, "I loved season 1 because it was about like a potential serial killer. Season 2 is just some dead guy, and you got these 3 detectives and a mobster. These people don't have real problems." He goes, "All they need is therapy, a Xanax, and a hug." And I'm like, yes, exactly, Brad. That's the point. They're the authors of their own depression. They're the authors of their own problem. If they just left town, if they just moved the fuck on, but they stay mired in their own shit, they refuse to move on. That's the tragedy of it.
Now, is it that they refuse to move on because they think they don't deserve to move on, or is it just that they can't figure out what's best for them? Do you think?
I don't think they think that far ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's best for them? I don't even think they're
So
thinking that far ahead.
They lack
They-
the introspection to be able to be like, you know what would really do me some good?
Yeah, they're
Elsewhere.
they're all essentially broken people that have severe the issues of being like unsettled, like insecurity issues, right? So they found themselves a position of power. Detectives, police officers.
Yeah.
I have a gun, I have a badge. That's that. Like Bezarides, for example, like, yeah, okay, she's an armed detective and she's also really, really into knives. And she's got like 3 or 4 knives on her. And well, her and Velcoro are driving. She's giving Velcoro a ride home. And the dialogue back and forth is just fucking fantastic because Palazzo, like I say, he's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And she says the fundamental difference. She goes, "Why?" He asked her, "Why all the knives?" And she said, "Could you do the job that you do, knowing that everyone you work with could kill you with their bare hands if they wanted to?" And he says, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, that's the fundamental difference between the sexes. One can, the other can't.
Ouch.
All I'm telling you is that anybody who puts their hands on me is going to bleed out in 30 seconds flat."
That's
And then he kind of looks out the window and then looks back. He says, "Well, as long
fair
as you
point.
know, I support feminism, mostly by having body image issues."
Wait, does he actually say that?
Yes.
That's funny. On the floor
Yeah.
with you.
It is.
That is brilliant. Oh gosh, I could use some good dialogue examples because I suck at writing dialogue. So yeah, if you got any like things that I should watch because brilliant dialogists wrote them, throw them my way. Polly, that goes for you as well as Chat.
Well, I mean, obviously, True Detective Season 2. I cannot recommend it strongly enough. The soundtrack is awesome. The actual artist who sings them, Lyra Lynn, is in the series.
Yeah.
She's the I nicknamed her the saddest girl in the world because whenever Frank Simeon, the mobster, and Ray Velcoro are meeting up, they meet at this crappy little bar that Frank Simeon owns. It's kind of like his out-of-the-way place where no one's going to see that he's meeting with a cop or whoever, right? And she's the girl who's playing guitar on the small stage.
Yeah.
And every song that she's playing is a song that's on the season's soundtrack.
Huh.
Co-written with Rosanna Cash, Johnny Cash's daughter. They're fucking fantastic. And everyone found it really, really depressing. And I'm like, okay. I mean, Ham and Bean says, and where does Bruce Wayne come into this? Well, yeah, it's like Bruce Wayne's story is essentially an extremely depressing story where there's
Yeah.
somebody as a young person is violated in this really horrible way, left to feel alone and insecure. They have all these major fucking issues, and so they make themselves powerful so they can never be taken advantage of again. But in reality, who are they inside? A very broken person. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow.
It's like,
Put it like that, and holy fuck. That
yeah, but
explains so much.
well, yeah, I don't know. Pop Tart's a big fan of pointing that out that Bruce Wayne is a crazy person. Everybody looks at him as a superhero, and it's like there's nothing heroic about him. He's crazy. He spends
Well,
all
yeah.
day in a cave, and
Yeah.
it's like she's not wrong.
You
It's-
frame it with the Batman frame, it all makes sense.
yeah. I don't know. People they say certain things are depressing, and I'm like, season 1 was just as depressing. You just like the scenery. If you say, oh well, season 2, the story I couldn't follow, it was so convoluted. True, I've watched it a whole number of times, and it took watching it a number of times to be able to fully grasp the detail of all of the story arcs that were going on and the details of the investigation that they were going. It's a very intricate plot, but season 1 is just as complicated. You just didn't care. Because you really enjoyed, I'm speaking to the internet when I say this, because you just really enjoyed the Louisiana scenery and the setting and the vibe. You just didn't like the vibe of season 2, so you complain about it. That's my call anyway.
Well, I will definitely watch it. It's on my it's going on my list. I will.
Have you seen The Witcher?
I have
Doc,
seen The Witcher.
The Witcher books apparently have some really good dialogue.
I am in the process of reading them, and I would agree with that. Yes, I will.
Is that
agree
true?
with that.
Cool.
I actually have most of the books on my shelf. El Boyfriendo got them for me for Christmas. That was what I asked for Christmas, was a whole bunch of books. Because I'm a little bit of a nerd. I don't know if you know this, Polly.
I've heard.
Yeah. A bit of a nerd.
Oof.
Bruce Wayne is a deeply flawed noir character. Yeah, given that framing, I gotta say, yeah, that I agree with that wholeheartedly. It makes a lot of sense. Ooh, no, that's Gotham by Gaslight. That's different. It's more steampunky Batman than it is noir Batman. But didn't they do a noir Batman?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Was it
They
just...
did a Marvel noir too, and it was fucking fantastic. And then they stopped because they're morons. But anyway.
Well, is it just a comic book, or did they actually make it into like a movie or something?
Batman?
Yeah. No, the Batman Noir.
No, they did not make it into a movie, sadly. That I know of. Like an animated feature? No.
Yeah.
Gotham by Gaslight, though. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. I mean,
Give me one second.
You came on Configuration with that, did you not?
I did, actually. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Did my phone go off?
Well, hello, chat.
Sorry,
Yeah, Gamer Valine says Bruce Wayne is a deeply flawed noir character. Goddamn right. I mean, because it's Bruce Wayne Batman is the Shadow. When you read he just is. They developed him like Bill Finger and shit. The guy who gets all the fucking credit but actually didn't create Batman, Bill Finger did. Regardless, the first few comic books you can literally overlay them on top of Shadow comic books, and they're traced panel for panel, page for page. Because at that time, who gives a fuck? It's the 1930s. Copyright? What's that? But then, Batman developed his own lore and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he's obviously a branch off of the Shadow, and the Shadow's like noir as all get out.
I'm back.
Hello.
Sorry, I was hearing phantom phone ringing, and I'm like, I am expecting a phone call. Maybe. Might be. Where's my phone? It was in my back pocket. I couldn't find it. It's in my back pocket.
Actually, I don't know where my phone
go
is either.
crazy.
I was looking for it myself, and it's somewhere around here. Thank you, Jason Smith. Bob Kane. Thank you.
Speaking of Gotham by Gaslight, yes, I did come on Noir Bar with that, and also I have it on DVD, Blu-ray. Because,
I like that a lot. A lot.
yeah, physical medium is better than digital medium, and the reason I say this is because digital can be taken away like that. but physical is not forever, but at least my entire lifetime. So that's all I care about.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, okay. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know what it was. I can't remember what the name of it was, who it was, but I just remembered very distinctly the conversation line of, like, Netflix. They're going through, like, a depression almost right now in terms of subscribership, where people just don't want to subscribe to Netflix anymore. Because, one, they reached their subscriber cap. Two, people aren't staying home as long as they were during the pandemic, so obviously they're just kind of weaning back from the less necessary expenditures because everything else is super expensive. But three, also, they're doing some questionable things with their corporate model. Chief of among which, wow, that came out of my face weird. One of which...
Chief of among which is... I believe you were attempting to spit forth.
I was saying all of the things. But,
Yeah.
one of which, there we go, was, like, they wanted to introduce commercials back into the streaming model, which completely defeats the purpose of paying for a streaming service, right? Because
They want to introduce what back in?
commercials,
Commercials. Okay.
paid advertisements. So, like, where your Lysol commercials or your Tide commercials or your Lucky Charms commercials get introduced back into your Saturday morning binge watch of what the fuck ever.
Mm-hmm.
That completely negates the purpose of what Netflix was coasting on for so long that made them popular in the first place, right? And they also stopped password sharing. Yes, exactly, Daniel Fullman. Which begs the question of, like, at what point, right, does a company, a streaming company that has all of this original content, at some point, they're not going to be around anymore. All of their original content that is housed on their streaming service, that is unique to their streaming service, at some point will be lost to time. It could be next year. It could be 20 years from now. It could be during the apocalypse, whenever the fuck that is. But at some point, all of that digital media is just going to get yeeted into oblivion. Because I'm assuming, I have never actually seen a Netflix original in DVD format.
Well,
That I know of.
I mean, I don't think you're I don't think you're wrong, but I will throw this thought out. I mean, does it matter? I mean, think about Netflix original content. It's
Well,
a lot of it. You know, it's like people will name like the one thing, and it's like think how many originals they produce that are like just they're consumable content
True.
in the meant to be watched and then forgotten. It's meant to be watched until a bra comes off. Like that's.
I understand. Like, not everything is a winner in terms of content to every audience member. But that's the beauty of media, is that you can find something for everyone of any interest, of any variety. It's not just like one size fits all anymore. Not that it ever was, but we have variety. We have all this variety. Too much, if I'm being quite frank, because I don't even know, like, the amount of decisions I get to make in a day. Way too many. It actually impedes my ability to progress further. But, like, yes, Doc, exactly. Castlevania was fantastic as a series. I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix original, if I'm not mistaken. And it was perfect as a series. Fantastic. Like, if I did not have the ability to go back and watch it later on in life, I would be kind of sad about that. Which is why I think physical media is important to preserve. That as an aspect, because yes, digital media is convenient, but on the other hand, as someone who is vehemently for archiving everything, you also want to have the physical media. Like, absolutely 100%. Because you can't beat physical media. Personally. That's just me.
There's my phone.
Ooh, Ooh, I don't have them readily available on my phone. But Polly, to touch on the physical media aspect, right? So my grandfather. Ooh, I do have those pictures actually. They're on my Twitter. I just have to go back and find them. No, we're not going to talk about the Met Gala, which is Polydub's favorite thing to talk about, I'm sure. That was a bear poke. So we were going through photos on Easter. So like Easter Sunday, we were hanging out on my dad's house. We were going through old photos that my grandfather had taken because his sister had actually passed away. R.I.P. Auntie M. Yeah. So we were going through pictures, looking for pictures of Annie M. And we were trying to find them, and my grandfather was notorious for taking pictures back in ye olden days. And so I have some of the pictures that he took. Oh, thank you, dear. That he took from his time overseas in the Second World War. And I thought that they would be cool to share with you. Because
Cool.
physical medium and also history. And also, I don't know, Grandpa Jones is like awesomer as a person than Chad Dad Jones. What's the nickname?
Chad Dad works because it's a little rhymey. Let's go with Chad Dad.
All right, Chad Dad Jones. I mean, like he's awesome too, but Grandpa Jones is the guy that started it all. He is the legend, the man, the myth. But anyway, so this is Granddad Jones back in the olden days. When he was an army radio head, I believe. That's not an actual title. Can you see, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is it clear enough for you? Or do you want me to send you... Okay. Yeah. So, that is Granddad Jones in his army regalia. This is a picture he took just after he landed in Japan, right after the bombs dropped. I don't know if this is Hiroshima, or is it... It's not... It is... Is it Nagasaki? The other place that we bombed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, dear. Thank you,
I
Polly.
wouldn't. I don't think you need to we that, but you know.
We, as in the United States.
They had it coming.
Okay, fair, yes. But he was one of the people on the ground right after the bombs dropped, hanging out in the irradiated Japan
Cool.
rubble. So if you're wondering why Weebo Jones is a little bit nutty, it's probably like several generations worth of radiation sickness or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's Granddad Jones. And then that's also Granddad Jones on what I assume is probably a destroyer in the middle of...
Is that one of them rope loopy thingy dealies?
So this is like the railing.
Yeah.
And then this...
No, the thing he's sitting on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the rope loopy thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the mooring bit.
Is that what they're called?
It sounds better than rope loopy thingy.
But yeah, no, mooring bit. Like you convinced me. That sounded legit. I was like, yeah, all right, cool, mooring bit. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I was certified to drive a watercraft. And yes,
I mean,
was one of the
as a
things we
Boy Scout, I can do all the naval knots.
yeah, but could you
yeah,
name
but-
them all?
Yes. The bunt line, the midshipman's bunt line. Yeah, of course.
Oh my
God! I got my merit badge.
Wait, how far in the Boy Scouts did you make it? Like, did you make it all the way up to Eagle Scout?
No, I didn't do as far as you go in Boy Scouts. And then the next step was like next stage is Eagle Scout, and I didn't do that.
No.
But that's where the fun.
That's where the fun ends.
No, that's where the fun like really starts because I remember.
Really?
You know what pissed me off? So I'm talking to this girl, right?
Right.
Great. So I was talking to my ex-girlfriend, and I was saying, she was, what did you do in Boy Scouts? And I was like, and then I started describing it, right? And it's like, okay, archery, and then BB guns, and then the what the different merit badges were, and I named the fire starting one, and um, uh,
You mean
pitching
the
a tent. Yeah,
arsonist one?
chat, laugh about the pitching a tent one, and the. It's like I'm thinking to avoid saying that, but I'm sorry. That's what it's called. Okay, Jesus Christ. I, that and you had to actually end up using them because once you got this one set of merit badges when you were out at Boy Scout camp, you had to kayak across to the island and then do all of the things that your merit badges supposedly enabled you to do, which is get the kindling together, start a fire, pitch a tent, etc.
They taught you how to
So-
pitch 10 in Boy Scouts.
Right, and she like was getting more and more irate because we were talking on the phone, and I didn't realize she's getting. She goes, "See, this sucks." Okay, I was in whatchamacallit, Girl Scouts, and we never got to do any of that stuff. It's like that's why girls should be allowed in Boy Scouts, and I'm like, or just do that stuff in Girl Scouts.
Right. I was never.
I
a
don't,
Girl
I don't
Scout.
understand. Like she's like, I would have loved to have done archery and so on. And I'm like, then why didn't you ask to? Like I understand as a child you don't have the power to do these things, but like the women that are running Girl Scouts, like don't they know that girls want to do stuff other than whatever the fuck it is they do in Girl Scouts? I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm glad that I had my dad instead of like Girl Scouts, because all I had to do was go, Dad, I want a bow and arrow, and I got a bow and arrow.
Yeah,
And
I
I-
listen to my dad talking about the Boy Scouts, and it's like, oh, we shot three British rifles, surplus rifles from World War II, and I was like, fuck, we just got BB guns. Like, and now, like, they wouldn't. Boy Scouts? What are you fucking kidding me? I doubt they let you in your matches. It's
Rough.
probably turned into Girl Scouts because girls
Well,
are now in Boy Scouts. Because,
exactly, yeah.
Sexism.
Yeah, that's why every girl should have a dad that does dude stuff. Not all dads do dude stuff. Some dads don't do dude stuff, and it's kind of sad if your dad doesn't do dude stuff or teach you how to do dude stuff. Like I learned how to change a tire and the oil filter.
Yeah,
other
and then you can
things.
totally emasculate your boyfriend later on in life. It's great.
Dude. So, I tried to change the oil. I think maybe you were on the phone call in the Discord when I tried to change the oil, at least for a little bit. But I went over to my dad's house and I had it on the ramps. The car, I had it on the ramps, and I had my oil filter, like the correct everything that I needed. And I set aside a couple hours to get this all done. More time than I thought I needed because, like, I know how to do this. I've done it before on other vehicles. But I'm underneath the car, and I'm trying to unbolt the nut that holds, like, in the oil pan, the thing that allows the oil to
Yes.
drain.
Yes, you were trying to loosen the nut so it would drain.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Have fun, Chad.
I'm informing chat in case some of them don't have dude dads to teach them how to do dude things.
No, I'm just making fun of your phrasing. Go ahead.
Yeah. But, he taught me how to do it, not what it's called. Anyway, so I'm underneath the car, and I
Still don't think you picked up on what I was doing there, but go ahead. It's
was it a sexual innuendo thing?
you loosened the nut so it would drain. Yeah, I was kind of doing a sexual entendre. I was.
Now I see what you did there.
Well, hey, listen. I had to deal with pitching tents. You have to deal with draining nuts. Okay.
Are you proud of
It's-
yourself, Polly?
No, I've never been.
Well, that went way over my head. Not hard to do because I am like only 5'2", so.
Yeah, well, if guys drink a lot of milk, they often will go right over here. Now, see, if you had watched AAA, you'd get that joke.
I watched a little bit in the car on the way home from the optometrists.
What's that?
I didn't watch it technically.
Well, the echo really added something to that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
No, I forget who said it. Oh my, Joshua Montgomery got it. Okay, there was somebody in I forget who came up with. I think it was one of Drunkle's friends.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. I don't know. He believed that if he drank more milk, it would help him come real hard. That he would be able to blast more volume.
No,
And
that's if you're celibate for long enough, right?
Well, I'm just saying. This guy was under the impression that was the case. Okay, and then we're cracking the entendre joke, nuts to drain, and you said that one went right over my head. And I said, yeah, well, if a guy drinks a lot of milk, that probably would go right over your head.
Oh, wow. Okay. But why milk? That's my question.
I don't know why. Come on, the guy was obviously a moron.
Why not pineapple juice? What's wrong with water? I bet if you hydrated like you probably should, you probably have a good nut.
Thank you for the $5 from Weebo's Tricky Sticky Nut. My dad taught me to drink. Does that count? Yes.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, I think so.
My first like official drink was with my dad. So yeah.
If somebody told me that their mom taught them how to do shots, I'd be like, "Yo, man, seriously?" Like, so yeah, it's a good thing if your dad taught you to drink.
Right. Because if mom's teaching you how to do shots, I would have to ask, what kind of shots afterwards? Get your butt out of the camera. You attention whore. Well, okay, so I'm like torquing the nut. Now that you said something.
As you do.
As one does. And I cannot get this thing to fucking budge an inch, a millimeter. It's not going anywhere.
Were you following righty tighty lefty loosey, or is that where this is headed?
I was.
Okay.
I couldn't get it off because it had been over torqued by the Jiffy Lube at some point previously, because this was a car that hadn't personally been addressed. I was driving one of El Boyfriendo's vehicles, and he doesn't have a place to do the oil, or he hadn't had a place to do the oil, so he had other people do the oil. And I guess what they do with the Jiffy Lube is they over torque it.
Man, it's already echoed. The double echo makes it really weird.
I'm sorry.
Doc, thank you for the $1. Backshots?
I don't know what that means.
It's BAKCSHOTS, so I don't know if that was a typo, which I have a fuck ton of. So backshots. Now, yeah, I could take that in all kinds of ways. Anyway.
Indeed.
As long as my mom taught me how to do blowjob shots. Have you ever done one of those, Weebo? With the whipped cream and whatnot, and you got to lean over and grab it with your mouth.
With your mouth, and then you my mom didn't teach me how to do that, but I learned that at college.
I was about to say that is like the quintessential college girl shot.
I learned how to do that at college. I learned how to do an Irish car bomb at college. I learned how to make mold meat at college. I had a very well-rounded education.
Nice. Making a little pruno in the toilet bowl, huh?
Not in the toilet bowl. We had a crock pot for that.
Oh, okay.
We were civilized, Polly.
Yeah. I've always wanted to try making pruno, just to see how it would turn out. I wanted to try making my own sparkling cider at one point, and then I read into it and found out how complex it is, and I was like, oh, fuck this. And then there was that one time I was really drunk and thought by mixing club soda, vodka, and apple juice I'd be creating my own cider. It's not true.
No, that doesn't sound correct.
No, it was horrible. I still drank it, but it was horrible.
Wait, what do you mean making sparkling cider is too complex? I made that accidentally in high school with just some apple juice.
Well, I remember watching some guy's YouTube video where, he had the Grolsch bottles, Grolsch beer, they've got the cap with the thingamajigger, the little lever dealy on the side that has the cap pop off, but it retains. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He had used those bottles, and he said, I'm happy I used these bottles because it ended up fermenting to the point where it became effervescent, where it actually carbonated a little bit. Ooh. And he goes, usually it doesn't do that. And I was like, so I started watching videos on how to, the double carbonation. that one has to do. It's like first you ferment it to make it alcoholic, and then you give it a second fermentation for carbonation, and the amount of sterilization and so on and so forth. As I was reading, and I was like, no, I can just buy like a big old plastic bottle of cider. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem that complicated to me as a lowly
No.
16-year-old going through gym class and accidentally finding that your apple juice had fermented inside your lunchbox over the weekend during outdoor education. That I'm not making that up. That is an actual thing that happened to me. I did have like actual hard cider in school, and I was passing it around to all the rest of the kids in my class because I'm like, take a swig of this, and yeah, that was an accidental drunken Weebo moment that I will always love to tell the story of. Just maybe not until my kids get like way older, if I have them. But anyway, yeah. So I think Jiffy Lube sabotaged the car and made it so that only they could unnut the nut.
Right.
Because I, for the life of me, could not do anything to that nut, no matter how hard I tried. Polly, you've done this to me.
What?
This is all your fault. Now I can't. I
You
cannot.
can't say anything without making it sound
I
sexualized.
cannot tell this story without laughing every time I say nut. This is all your fault. I hope you're proud.
Fair enough.
But yeah. I was all prepped and ready too. Like I had all the materials. I had the filter wrench thingy, you know, the thing that goes around the oil filter that you just like, yeah. I had that. I had the drain. I had the new filter. I had the oil. I had even the air filter that I could change too, because Dad taught me I had to do that at the same time. I was prepped and ready to go, and I had to just stop after 2 hours because I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. The nut's starting to strip. You don't want that. It's a bad time if it does. And so I just took it to Jiffy Lube. But just got a new car, and I know for a fact that that thing has never seen the inside of a Jiffy Lube because I got it from my dad. So not only has it been well maintained,
Oh shit.
but I also have the ability to like use his materials to change the oil and whatnot whenever I need to, which is nice. Thank you, Cult of Krill, for the donation. No matter how hard she tried, Weebo just couldn't get her nut. I feel like that's a children's novel bit, almost. Kind of. That's what it feels like to me. Look at what you started, Polly. Look at what you've done.
I didn't do nothing.
You did this.
Nope.
You made this happen. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
You see? I didn't do nothing. But yes, I am proud. So anyway, we're at 1 hour and 3 minutes, Polly. Time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about nut.
Jesus Christ.
That's the new title of the stream, by the way. It's talking about nut.
Talking about nut. Yeah, that'll go over real well.
I am all for the clickbait titles if it gets me more views. Oh, that's something else. Have you noticed that your monetization, like, dollary dues has gone up?
No, my channel's not monetized. Never has been.
Really?
No.
I thought it had. I was sure it had.
No.
Oh,
Never has been.
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing is deliberate.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
I mean, I'm more than past the subs and views. A good long time ago, actually. It's just no. I just no.
Thank you, Doc, for the 5. If you broke a nut, or if you broke it, you would have busted a nut. God fucking damn it. Anyway, so, Polly, if you would like to, I will let you get back to the rest of your evening. Or we can talk more about nut.
No, I'm fine not talking about nut. That's
You don't want to talk about nut?
it's getting a little weird.
Okay.
It's just not
Fair
gonna
enough.
lie.
You started it. I'm just gonna kill the joke dead until it's awkward. That's what I'm good at. That is my secret power.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that? I thought by now you would have known that.
Your power is to make things weird. I believe you.
Yeah. Make things awkward and take the funny out of the joke by explaining it or having you explain it to me. Even when I know perfectly well why it's funny. It's my secret power. Don't tell anybody, by the way.
Okay.
Because then I lose my secret power. And also, chat, don't tell anybody.
Keep it from the whole of the internet. It's just between us.
Right, it's just between us. You, me, and the 20 other people, and maybe like 3 extras that will watch this later on tonight and into the morning.
One thing, I mean, you mentioned, like, have you noticed your... Jesus. Doc, thank you for the $5. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. Yeah, that's just, there you go.
But
Yeah. I need one of those. Everyone's into their bells. I need a da-doom. It's
well,
classic with it.
Doc, I appreciate the effort that you went through to type that message out. He says, Weebo, your Streamlabs is still showing a GIF after every single key entry that I have to dismiss. That took about 3 minutes to type. I don't know why it does that. I'll have to interrogate the system to see if I can fix it.
People still tell me that they can't use... I don't know if this is right or not, and I haven't been able to figure out how to figure it out. I just, days ago, got my Streamlabs donations to be in 2 different sets. So with the push of a button, I can go between Noir Bar and AAA donations. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, now.
And that was a major undertaking. I had to tweet at Streamlabs, who then said, no, you can't do this, but there's a workaround. Join our Discord. And then went over to the Discord and put a ticket message in to talk to one of their tech help people, who then explained it step by step. And like, goddamn, the fucking Streamlabs user interface, like browser mode, they are using our app or using this. And eventually, yeah,
I'm gonna have to like interrogate you about that at some point because I need that in my life.
It's good. It's really cool that you can do that. And it's like, okay, so now that makes me want to create some more both Noir Bar and AAA donations because I can separate them now. Some of them overlap because who doesn't want to see a naked Ava Green laying on a bed for $20, right? I mean, that's 20 for both because that's just a win.
Right.
You know, but the what was I talking about this for? I had a reason to. Oh, some people have said in the past that they can't use credit cards on my Streamlabs, and I'm like, is it true? Was it? And I'm not saying it was a problem with their credit card. Was it? I mean, was it just a payment processing problem at that point, or is there something I need to do? And how would I test that? I could have sworn it was enabled. I don't even know where to check that. You know, yeah. So dropping the ball all over the place.
Yeah. Wait. So you can't use a credit card? Hang on. Let's test this theory.
On
You.
Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll test it on you.
And supposedly with Drunkles as well, but not Sinatra's because he set it up. I don't know. It's been a while since this issue's come up, since anybody mentioned it. So again, I don't know if it was a temporary processing problem or it's actually something that's fucked. I just use PayPal. Doc says, yeah. See, that's what I'm wondering, Doc. Is everyone just using alternative payment methods like direct deposit, like through their online banking on their phone, like their online banking app, or PayPal?
Okay. How do I do this? Add an effect here? No. Oh, they don't like my username. There we go. Oh! Wow, yeah.
All
They
the
don't...
curse words in there.
They take pay with PayPal, then they take Visa. Let's do Visa. And it takes me to PayPal.
No, use your Discover card.
I don't have a Discover card.
Just quit lying.
I really don't. I have exactly one credit card, and it is a Visa credit card. Alright. Ooh, actually, you know what?
Does everyone from Illinois say Visa that way?
Yes.
Okay. Like, I realize it's an S, not a Z, but everyone else says Visa. You say Visa. So I was curious.
I never noticed.
Do you
Wait.
also call the little candy sprinkles on ice cream Jimmy's?
No.
I met
Is that a
someone from the
thing?
mid. Yeah, I met someone from the Midwest, and they said we were going for frozen yogurt, and she said, "I don't like gummy bears because I got gummy bears on my frozen yogurt," and she said, "I don't like them because they're not gummy anymore once they've sat on something frozen. They're
Oh.
all like
Yeah, I
they
get that.
become all chewy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I hear you, but you know, whatever. It doesn't bother me. That's just part of the thing for me. It's like, yeah, now they're chewy gummy bears." And she goes, "No, I just like getting Jimmy's on them," and I'm like, "You like what?" And she goes, "You know, they'll try," she meant sprinkles. And apparently there's people from the Midwest that call them Jimmy's. I thought it was the weirdest thing.
Huh. All right, so it's loading.
Okay.
We were unable to add this card. Check all the details are correct and try again, or try a different card. Fuck that. Can I continue as guest?
So they denied your card?
They denied my card. That's probably because it's also a little bit too close to the max limit right now. I just dropped way too much money at the optometrists, and I hadn't paid that off yet. Like, I literally just came straight from the optometrist, sat down in this chair, and started the stream. Which is also why I missed side quests at Hero. I saw that. I'm sorry. Yes, I know. It was unfortunate, but I couldn't make it and make the optometrist, and seeing is important, believe it or not. My grandma is mostly blind, and I'm trying not to end up that way. And my phone is ringing.
And the glasses will help?
Yes. And
Have
the
you ever
annual eye exams will also help.
Ah. Have you ever thought of LASIX?
I have considered it, but I hear that you have to maintain that. And I'm really looking for a more permanent solution.
That's what somebody told me. They're like, you can't get LASIX unless... How is it? This is what they told me. I have no like medical optometrical knowledge of it. That you have to have a steady, like if your eyes are, you know, your vision is getting worse over time, you can't get LASIX. It has to be that you need a certain prescription glasses, and your prescription hasn't changed in years and years. Then yeah, you can go ahead and get LASIX.
Oh, well then that's not for me either, because I just had to get a new prescription. So these glasses are actually a year or so old, and they're already outdated.
Really?
Yeah, my left eye is fucked.
So like one is actually much stronger than the other, the prescription.
I guess this one is just an astigmatism. This one is astigmatism and farsightedness, which means very little to me.
I should go to an optometrist.
You should probably.
Yeah, I want glasses, not so much because I did go to an optometrist, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was at university, because it was like, I was in spend all the healthcare money.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm paying for this shit, god damn it. I don't give a fuck if aromatherapy's on here. It's hokum, but I'm still gonna go fucking do it because I paid for it. The health insurance that I pay for through fucking university, you know, it's brutal. But you know, so I'm going to the fucking dentist and I'm taking advantage of everything. And so I went to the optometrist and they said, this is the weakest prescription we can give you. It's I'm willing to bet that only after hours of staring at a computer screen or reading do you ever notice that things get blurry. I said, yeah. And she goes, that's just because your eyes are getting tired. So basically, they're reading glasses.
Oh.
That's the only time you would need them. But that was a while ago, and yeah, reading or staring at a screen for like hours, yeah, shit does start to get blurry. So I want glasses, but mostly as a prop. I want to be able to pull them off dramatically when I say things.
Oh, dude, they're expensive though. Like these bad boys are like $300. If they're not covered by insurance, that is.
Fuck.
Yeah. Like
Are
I could
those
actually...
the frames or the frames and lenses?
So, okay, alright. I have the bill, because like I said, I got new glasses, and they're coming in like 15 days. Let's see. Level 1, established contact lens eval. No. No, we want... transfer and co-insurance. Is it this one or is it the other one?
It's all good. We can talk in chat.
Okay. Okay, so I think these are
terrible, Daniel Fulman. Terrible.
what? I went to the optometrist and fell into the lens grinder and made a spectacle of myself. Fucking hell.
And Ham and Beans got glasses and then just lost them and then said fuck it and didn't get replacements.
God damn it.
They must have been real necessary for you, man.
I hope you're proud of yourself. Okay, so the total for these glasses, I think, was supposed to run me up about $687. No, these are the sunglasses that I purchased. $687 for the sunglasses. Because I also sprung for sunglasses. But I got a discount, so it was half off, so I only had to pay like $349 for just the sunglasses. The actual glasses, these bad boys.
Those are prescription sunglasses, I take it.
Yes, they are. And they will make me look like a drunken wine mom.
Nice.
Yeah. And then these glasses run me... okay, so the glasses themselves are $279. The Izine Plus digital lens filter is about $65, so that's the thing that blocks out the blue light.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that in chat. Jason Smith, yeah.
The transition, so these currently don't transition in the sunlight to shaded glasses. They just retain, but I got the transitionary lenses. Those are $130 on top of...
What does that mean?
It means that they tint in the sun.
Well, you say you didn't get them, though.
I did. I got them for the replacement for these. So I didn't initially get these when I initially got these glasses.
Gotcha.
Lab supplied UV and or blue light. Actually, hang on. Plus digital lenses. What's the difference between digital lenses and...
So is the blue light filter thing, is that... How can I say it? Is that like a coating? Because I know there's coating on lenses for like scratches and whatnot. Or is that just the type of glass? Or the type of plastic, rather? Are those even glass lenses? Or are they like super fantastic plastic lenses?
I think they might be plastic. I don't know. I've stepped on them a number of times, so they hold up really well.
Aren't most of them like super polymers to make them lighter, as opposed to like actual glass, and because then they'd be heavy as fuck?
Yeah. They're not super heavy. They're really light on my face, and they fit my face really well, and they're basically invisible, which is why I got them. Because I didn't want people to know that I had glasses.
Well, you know what my problem is? Is that people say like, oh, I get these lenses, and like it's always girls. Always girls. Where they're like, oh, well, these glasses complement the shape of my face, that sort of thing, right? And Far wears certain glasses, right? And she goes, these are the only ones that like look good on my face. And I'm like, I've been to an optometrist. I've seen all of the glasses, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know what looks good on your face? Do you just like put shit on until you go, yeah, okay?
Yeah, actually, that was exactly what happened today. So, when I initially got my glasses, the lady, they have like optical engineers or whatever, but they are basically the glasses engineers. They handle all of the orders and processing with the manufacturers for the lenses and the frames, because the frames you get from elsewhere, right? And they're like designer or whatever. And then the lenses you get from the lab, because they have to make them for your specific prescription. And then they put them together, and then they fit them to your face. But first, you have to pick out the frame. And then you get to decide all of the cool little extras, like, oh, do you want the UV blocking? Do you want the tinting? Do you want that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and whatever. And so, when you're picking out a frame, she grabs whatever you think you're going to like, plus a few extras, and she puts them on the little, like, table thingy. The display tray. Right, and she brings them to you, and then you sit in front of a mirror and you try on glasses until you find the ones that you like. And she gives you input as well, and tells you, oh no, actually those don't look good on your face, or oh yeah, actually I really like those, or maybe not, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's how that typically goes, and that was how that went with these glasses, and that's how that went with the sunglasses today. So I ended up getting the little cat eye sunglasses that, you know, make you look like a
Do you want to talk to someone's manager?
Yeah, exactly. I am fully embracing my Karen-ness at this age. I'm preparing. But yeah, it's expensive. So, if you want glasses, you best need them, son.
Yeah, well, I would have to go to the optometrist first.
Right.
Which looks better, this or this? They look the same. No, no, seriously, which one looks better, this or I don't know, lady. I
Well, that's what the lady's gonna do, is tell you what looks better.
can I memorize the chart and read it off, even though all I see is a big blur?
No, you cannot do that.
No.
Free?
No.
No, you can't do that. Because they're gonna...
Who's
come-
boyfriend I'm talking to?
Oh, he's playing video games. He was banking on me being offline at this point, so... Yeah.
I'm like, is he talking to you and you're just like completely ignoring him? That's what I thought was going on.
Yeah, no, actually, that's his job. That's what he does best.
Oh.
It's a special
At any
skill.
rate, that is what we're going to try to do.
Where is that
Oh, I
even
gotta-
from?
What do you mean? It's Winston Churchill speech.
That's not actually real, right? That's like...
That's what he said. No, no. That's Churchill.
He said that
Yeah.
to the people.
Hey, that's what he's trying to do. Yeah.
What is...
And the picture I got from somewhere else, and then the text I added on in Vegas. Gamer Feline, thank you for the 350. Dylan will do prescriptions on glasses. I love their matte finished lenses. Aviators work well for my authority. I'm wondering if I put on the aviators, if it would work, or I'd look like a moron.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, Doc said I'm a guy and I do that shit, man. Like, meaning, like, know what works for your face. Yeah, okay, maybe it's just me. Or it's like I'm just lost to the idea of like, what
I
looks
can
good on
see-
my face? I don't know.
I can see the aviators working for you. Although, I think aviators look great on anyone, so maybe don't take my advice.
Get the super heavy mirrored ones so I can look like a Southern sheriff that like kicks your headlight out and then gives you a fine.
Full Top Gun!
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Don't
All right,
resist
so there it is. You were gonna shut down the show, I believe.
Yes, I'm gonna shut down this show and I'm gonna go to bed early and I'm gonna enjoy my... Well, I'm already enjoying my evening, but I'm gonna eat ice cream. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stuff my
All right.
face full of moose tracks. It's gonna be great.
Cool.
What are you gonna do, Polly?
I have good 80 pages worth of reading to do
Ew.
of boring government documents.
Ew.
Yeah, and see if there's anything worthwhile in there to pull out of them. There may be, there may not be. I don't know. I haven't read them yet.
Okay.
And then after that, I am going to get something to eat. I know not what. And then after that, I am going to paint. It is a mini painting night once I get all that stuff done. But by the time I get all that stuff done, I don't know. It's going to be pretty late.
Well, have
I still
fun.
got- yeah. I think there's a chicken burger in my future. And I call them chicken burgers, not chicken sandwiches. I'll call them what I want. I've just noticed people take issues with me on that.
This
They're like,
chicken
it's a
burger?
chicken sandwich. And I'm like, nah, sandwich is sliced bread that comes off a loaf, in my opinion. I'm going to go with chicken burger.
This chicken burger?
Yeah.
Or one of the
I mean,
inferior chicken burgers?
No, I do love a Chick-fil-A chicken burger. I do. Yeah.
Now I kind of want to call all burgers sandwiches.
Don't do that. It's like the way McDonald's calls the inside of their place a restaurant. I mean, I guess technically.
Okay. That's funny. Do they actually?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. During COVID, it was like the restaurant is closed, and I'm like, are you talking about somewhere else? Like,
That was said with a full chest, man. But yeah, okay, cool. This sounds like a good night, actually. Especially since it ends with painting.
Joshua Montgomery, poly art or wall painting? Neither. Revolutionary War figures, like tabletop wargaming painting.
Well, that sounds fun.
Tiny little guys with muskets.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I am.
I want a collection of
I'm kind of a big deal.
minifigurines.
Well, start playing Warhammer 40k.
I thought
It's
about
the
it,
one.
actually, yeah.
It's the most popular.
Aren't there books?
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Black Library. There's. Whew,
Alright.
it's unbelievable.
I
Like, the
thought about
lore
reading
and
it.
just- and it's. it's as Quiz would say. I mean, he's a big 40K fan. That's the thing about 40K is that it's got something for everyone. It's like you're a weeb, you like mechs, and things along that line. There's this race, and it's just straight up anime mechs. And it's like you want. There's the Space Marines, which are colonial Marines, and then you got et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like whatever you want, there's something. Personally, if I was to do 40K, I'd do Sisters of Battle. That's me though.
Okay.
And then there's the orcs if you're into into them and whatnot. I don't know why you'd be into orcs. To me, they seem the least interesting. But
Hey, I'm telling Thorn. Because she's
you're what?
her side quest character is quarter orc.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like quarter orc, like from 40K, or orc from
No, just orc
J.R.R. Tolkien?
orc from Magog's world. So whatever
Gotcha.
it is that you understand that to mean.
D&D-esque is what I
Yeah.
take that to mean.
Yeah, like with the lower tusks and everything. Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you get to your paintings and your
Okay.
readings. Thank you for joining me tonight, Polly. I had fun.
And you as well. It was a good time. And stop maxing out your credit card.
I will. It's been an interesting couple of days. But yeah. Anyway,
All right.
have a good rest of your night. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lizard people of all ages, we will be back here Sunday. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday. Same time. Same place. Not the same exact time, but you get what I mean. Same otter, same face. I've been Weebo, this has been Polly, and we have been Cocktail Hour. Later, losers.
Later.
And goodbye. And that was the show.